welcome to Caffeinated Cast-Ons. My name is Therese, also known as Caffeinated Cast-Ons, and this is my YouTube channel where I share my knitting projects that I'm working on. I take you along through breaking down the project with the needle size I'm using, the type of yarn that I'm using, and give you any notes, feedback, and just regular commentary. You can find me on Instagram as @CaffeinatedCastOns, and I'll post tidbits here and there of my knitting and finished objects. Think of this as a video version of Ravelry project pages. With that being said, I will link the actual project pages for the projects that I talk about down below in the description box. If you are new, welcome. Thank you for joining. And if you're a returning subscriber, thank you so much. It's so fun to have you along each week and keep track of like different progress and projects that we have. I am working with a new camera, so I have no idea how this is going to turn out or look or sound. So we'll see. My husband got a new toy, and so I am testing it out. I do have my cup of coffee. This is my second cup of coffee for the day. I did not sleep well last night, so I'm very tired today, but we will power through. I have one finished object to show you and one semi-finished object that I will talk about. I'll start with my Afghan square. So last time I talked about that, I did show that I finished it and it was blocked. This week I did attach it to the rest of the Afghan. It's just already put away, so I'm not going to show that, but I did get the rest of that attached. So now the Afghan itself, it's 3 squares by 4 squares, I believe. And that is all assembled. Now I just have the border that's left. However, I lost my instructions on the border. And so I asked a friend who I took the class with, where we got the pattern for this Afghan, if they had the instructions. So hopefully she does, so I can do the border. If not, I need to figure a new approach to get the border done and work on the blanket. Not that it should be too complicated. It's just a garter stitch border. I think I just need to remember how to turn the corner, because you work it like you do so many rows and then turn the corner. So we'll see that, but my Afghan is kind of back in hibernation now. My other finished object is my Cumulus Blouse. I finished the body, bound off, did the I-cord bind off. She is a beauty. I love it so much. Still needs to be blocked, but it's amazing and the fit is super great. So last week I was almost done with the second skein of the project, and I did a try on right whenever I got to the end of the second skein, and it was perfect. I could tuck it in a little bit to a couple different pairs of jeans. It looked nice. Again, it could still use a blocking to relax a little bit more, but I love it, and I can tell the drape is going to be even more beautiful once I do block it. Did the I-cord bind off on the body, and I think it was last week I did talk about wanting to tighten up the V-neck a little bit, and instead what I did, I just went ahead and picked up all of the stitches to knit the I-cord bind off and did that, and for me that pulled it up enough to not need to seam the V-neck any. It's just perfect. That being said, whenever I block it, I'll try it on again to seam. And if I do need to seam it up, then I think it'll be pretty easy since it is an I-cord, and that'll be pretty easy to do if I need to, but I don't anticipate needing to do that. What else can I say about this project? So I did buy 3 skeins hold on. I bought 3 skeins of Pearls and Postulates, and it is on their Harris sock base, and the color is Escape Velocity. And I bought 3 skeins of this at last year's DFW Fiber Fest, so 2024. And really, if I had done maybe half an inch shorter on the body, I wouldn't have needed to break into the third skein. Like, I could have done fine, but just because I did make it a little bit longer, the third skein was literally only to do the I-cord bind off on the body and the neck. So I pretty much have a full skein left over, which I'll probably just make a pair of socks with this. Maybe a beanie? I don't know. I'm not sure yet. But that'll be something. But for this being, I made the size large, and getting a large long sleeve with just 2 skeins of fingering weight, I really call that a win. So that is really great. So excited. I used a US size 8 for the needle, just since I was holding fingering single, and I was only off of the pattern gauge by half a stitch. But it really worked out great. I didn't swatch anything. I didn't change anything else in the pattern. I followed the number of repeats and decreases, like for the sleeves. And I just knit the body until my desired length. It was a really good project. I am really pleased with how this came out and how far my yarn went in this project, and I cannot wait to wear it. And even though it is long sleeve, I mean, it's pretty open. Like, I can see through the fabric. So I'm not worried about being too hot in this, even though it is, I think it's a superwash nylon mix, but I'm not discouraged from wearing this right now. Especially because North Texas, we're in that weather where it's a little chilly in the morning and it'll warm up in the afternoon. So I'm definitely going to still get some use of this as we're heading into early spring. So very, very excited about that. Excited that I still have some left over to do another project with. But yeah, I'm very pleased with how that came out. So I will probably block that sometime in the next day or two. As for whips, I have 2 projects that I worked on this past week outside of finishing the Cumulus Blouse. One is a pair of Rhinebeck Roomies that I have. Last week I showed these and I wanted to be halfway through the length of the leg. I did not get there. I ended up picking up another project instead. And so I really did not get that far, just maybe like 8 rounds. But look how fun that yarn is. And you can already see the texture. And there's the ball. This is Madeline Tosh on the Twist Light base, which is a 75-25 blend of superwash merino and nylon. And this is on the colorway Nudie Suit. This was, I believe, 2023 DFW Fiber Fest show color that year. And then on sock 2, I still only have the cuff done. And I have that divided as well. It's a little messy, but I'm really excited to see the color play out in this textured pattern. I think it still would have been fun if it was just plain vanilla, but I really wanted some texture. And I had been meaning to remake a pair of Rhinebeck Roomies. I did make a pair, but they got washed with some darker socks. The color bled, so they do not look nice at all. Still work great, like I still wear them, but just, again, very excited for this texture to really shine through. And there's the other side. So hopefully we'll make more progress on those this week. And then the other project that I've been working on, I busted out my DK jelly blanket and I am so excited. I haven't worked on this in quite a while. I don't remember the last time I pulled it out actually, but hold on. It's just a little cumbersome to show because it's growing. So this is the Jellyroll blanket by KF Jones. And I am doing a modified version, which is the DK version. So I am holding fingering weight double. And then the joins are a little different. I just followed the Crazy Sock Ladies modifications. So on the Ravelry project page, I write the notes out, but also link to her page as well, just because that's where I got this inspiration from. Because I really liked the way hers was looking. But, ooh, let's see if I can get it together to show this. Hold on. Okay, so last time I showed this, I was down here, and so I finished this strip and joined, or excuse me, I finished this color, finished the 6th strip, so this is the top, and then continued that color because I still had the yarn left, finished that from the bottom, and I started a new color, so this pretty fuchsia magenta is what I'm working on now. So this is the start of the 7th strip. Let's see if I can hold this up and show it. It's so pretty. I pulled it out and I was like, oh my gosh, I forgot how much I love like all of the colors and everything it is doing. It's a very long blanket. Like it definitely is probably like almost like 6 feet long because I made it, I'm 5'3", I'm a shorty, and I wanted to make sure that it covered my body whenever I laid down. And so it's pretty long. But it was so fun to pull this out, and it's so addicting because like one, because it's just straight knitting and it turns into a garter stitch with just straight knitting. And because you're changing colors, I'm just using fingering weight scraps. And like to get to the next color is just so exciting. And so it's like, you just want to keep going. I love it so much. I am knitting these on a US 6. These are the Signature Arts needles. They are no longer in business. This is the, oh no. You guys, the camera fell. I'm so sorry. What was I saying? So these are the Signature Needle Arts, and they are no longer in business. This is the one and only pair that I have. I can't believe I just dropped this camera. Yeah, but I love them so much. I wish I would have bought more. But I really enjoy these. These are great just because I don't have to worry about a long cable. Since I am working with such a large object, it's really nice just to have that, the straight needles doing that. So I'm definitely going to be knitting on this more. Yeah, it's great. That's it project-wise. That's all I have on my needles. Like I mentioned, my Afghan is back in hibernation until I can figure out the border. And then so it's just the Rhinebeck Roomies and my DK jelly blanket. So let's talk about reading, watching, and listening. Reading, I finished, what was I reading? Only for the Week. It was really good. Yes, there was spice, but if like that's not your thing, which is fine. I know it's not for everyone. It's a romance. But it was so interesting because there's like family dynamics and topics in there and just talking about that. And so I thought it was a really interesting take. I've never read anything like that before. Now I am reading Cultish, The Language of Fanaticism. And this is due, and I think at the end of the week, back to the library. But this is by Amanda Montell, and it's talking about language and how not necessarily cults, but groups. Like, yes, there are mentions of cults, but it's just so fascinating diving into language and how people can change language to either manipulate people, make people feel included. It's super fascinating. I'm very much like a true crime and cult gal. Like, I think that stuff is so fascinating with like the human behavior. So it's definitely an interesting read for sure. So that's what I'm currently reading. Still watching Criminal Minds. I think I'm on season 4, probably almost halfway through. We're caught up on Severance. We just watched the newest episode on Friday whenever it came out. And oh my gosh, like questions are answered, but then more questions come out of it. If you watch Severance, like, you know, but that's been really good. That's pretty much it there. I think that's pretty much it. As far as goals for next week, I just want to keep working on the Rhinebeck Roomies and working on my DK jelly blanket. Since I did finish my Cumulus Blouse ahead of the end of Q1, I need to start planning what I want to do for Q2. So I think this upcoming week, a goal for myself is to really start narrowing down patterns. I think I'm going to do a short sleeve. I do have some cotton yarn that I really want to use, and so I think I'm going to kind of look at either tees or tanks or just something more spring summery. That way I can have that done for summer. And then I think that's it. Okay, so let's wrap her on up with 3 simple joys, and then we will close out, and I'm just going to enjoy the beautiful day. Simple joy number 1 it's so random, has been packing my lunch. I work from home full time, so it sounds weird that I say I'm packing my lunch, but I found these like snack containers at Target, and so I've been making myself like Lunchables, and so I'll put like my cheese and pretzels and fruit and like deli meat and stuff like that. And it's so nice. It really has made a difference in my day, instead of just like working, like, oh, I need to make lunch, and like not wanting to cook something lately. Like I just want an easy like snack bowl lunch. And so that's been really nice to have. So I really enjoyed packing my lunch for myself this week. And then simple joy number 2 has just been the beautiful weather. It really is getting beautiful, but also like with that comes allergies. Like my husband and I have pretty bad allergies. So that part's not fun, but the weather is beautiful. So I'm looking forward to like more outdoor walks and everything like that. Simple joy number 3, we got to meet my nephew this weekend. My brother-in-law and his wife just had their first child, and so we got to go over there, and our son got to meet his cousin, so that was super sweet. He wasn't too interested, so it was kind of comical, but it was just so nice. I'm so excited for them, so hopefully they're all doing well. That's it. I hope this recording worked. I have no idea, so we're gonna see what this looks like, and we'll go from there. I might do a backup recording on my phone to see which one makes it, because I can tell this is going to look nice, but I just don't know, like, if it's going to be the way I want it to. I don't know. We'll see. I'll stop talking. Okay, until next time, stay caffeinated.